This is a recorded lecture for the IB-DP Topic A3.3.9. This is HL content, design and theory, and we're focusing on levers today with mechanical systems. Now, in general, big picture, you should be able to analyze mechanical movements in a product and their impact in different manufacturing techniques used to produce different products. From the IB, levers comprise a beam acting on a fulcrum or a pivot and are classed based on the relative position of the fulcrum to the applied load and effort. You must be able to identify three types of levers. This is first, second, and third class. We'll go through those. And the position of the load, effort, and fulcrum, and outline how they are used and provide examples. So a lever is a beam resting on a fulcrum that has effort applied to it to move a load. The order of the fulcrum, effort, and load determines the class of the lever. So this is the fulcrum on this teeter-totter right here. It's where it pivots. This would be the effort. This would be the load. This is a really great video and it explains how levers work. So I would definitely recommend that you watch it. So parts of the lever, we have, of course, the fulcrum. We've got the effort arm, so that's the side where the effort is. We've got the resistance arm, and that's the side where the load is. And this is that beam that is pivoting on the fulcrum. So effort is the input force applied to a lever to achieve a desired output. And you can see here's the effort here. In this case, you should notice that the arrows that I have here are vector arrows. They're showing a force. So in this case, there's a greater amount of effort being put in than there is a load. A load is the resistance or weight that needs to be moved or lifted. You can see the load here, and again, the arrow is smaller, and that's why it's in the air. The fulcrum is the fixed point around which the lever rotates. It's also known as a pivot. And this, of course, is the fulcrum. So let's talk about first-class levers. A lever where the fulcrum is located between the effort force and the load, the resistance force. For example, a seesaw or a pair of scissors. We saw a seesaw earlier. This is essentially a seesaw. But you can see in a pair of scissors, this is also a first-class lever because the load is what you would cut with the scissors, where the blades are. The effort is where your hand goes, and then the fulcrum around which the pivot of the beam goes is right in the middle here. So this is the fulcrum, and that's what makes this a first-class lever. So you've got to remember that first-class levers, fulcrum's in the middle, loads at one side, effort's at the other side. When we talk about a second-class lever, this is a lever where the load or the resistance force is located between the effort and the fulcrum. So, for example, a wheelbarrow. So when you're looking here at this, you can see that the fulcrum is on the left, the load's in the middle, the effort's on the right. Of course, this can be reversed. You can see this in the wheelbarrow. The fulcrum is here at the wheel. This is the load, and this is the effort right here. And so that's why we get a second-class lever with this. A third-class lever is a lever where the effort force is located between the fulcrum and the load. So, for example, a pair of tweezers or most human limbs, like your forearm, are third-class levers. So we can see here that the effort is here, the load is here, and the fulcrum is here. And if you think of a pair of tweezers, this is the classic example. The fulcrum is right here, the load is whatever you're picking up with the tweezers, and then the effort is in the middle. So let's talk about mechanical advantage when we talk about levers. So the length of the effort arm, the EA, divided by the length of the resistance arm, or RA, will give you the mechanical advantage. So mechanical advantage represents the factors by which a lever multiplies the effort applied to it. The length of the effort arm is the distance from the fulcrum, the pivot point, to the point where the effort force is applied. The length of the resistance arm is the distance from the fulcrum to the point where the resistance load is located. And when you divide those two things, you're going to get the mechanical advantage. All right, thank you for watching.